Restaurants which are planned nowadays are planned per se the budgets which are available to them or the equipment they love in, and then they buy it, they position it. So I'm sure you know it. You should be selling product which is saleable, not what you're passionate about. Because what's happening is I get a lot of such people, he's like, these guys have quit their careers, they're chartered accountants, they quit their careers. They said, even a doctor, sir, मैं ना एक waffle की दुकान खोल रहा हूँ, crepe की दुकान खोल रहा हूँ. Now we must understand this is not, something we will love to eat every time. Once in a while, it's fine. We need to set something like chaat, papadi, pakodi, Indian food, popular food, people we like. These are the things which we sell and can do really well. And that should be the.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned the recognition, of course. Amit Bhatta has been on the podcast, Raghav Jaggi is an old friend. Both them are old friends. And, it's just that I think there was a very conscious choice in terms of even scaling down the number of dishes, just like you mentioned in the US example as well. Also telling the story. I think Darigans tells a great story.
Absolutely.
And I think I was reading in your book where even scent plays such an important, role. Where even you walk into a restaurant and the aromas, and Tariganj has that smell that is kind of, and he, he talks about the fact that
Pulling.
he worked really hard on that set. So walking by, you kind of okay, let me just pop in and
I'll give you two more examples.
Sure.
One is popcorns.
Yeah.
I have seen when I started my popcorn career, I used to sell it at PVR, my first place, where I actually sold my first popcorn machine and my ingredients. I had seen people literally begging कि ऊपर जाना तो सिर्फ एक पॉपकॉर्न ही तो लाना है और तो कुछ नहीं. Because those times, if you remember, they will not let an outsider get into a cinema. So I've seen people begging because the aroma was coming out and you were getting pulled. That's number one. Number two, you didn't know, I worked very briefly with Starbucks in the US also. There is an SOP. What it says is that morning when you come in the store, the crew has to grind coffee, put it in a cloth, put it in a container, and wear it with hot water. So what it does is it throws that coffee aroma all across the store. So people, when they're actually passing by, they get pulled with the coffee aroma, and that's how you sell. So this is what exactly we got to do.
And interesting you mentioned Starbucks because I think in your TEDx talk you even spoke about the fact that how when Howard Schultz went to Italy and he saw the barista. And interesting, I've been to Seattle, so I've been to the first Starbucks at Pike Place. So I've actually been there and I picked up a lot of memorabilia in the Roma Casino when you went picking up memorabilia from the Pike Place store. But even that required a pivot because he brought something from Italy
Exactly replicated.
and it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah, yeah. So I think even Starbucks, relies and they've been, continuous, pivots and all that have been happening. How about in the India space now? Now here, of course, originally you had the Costas did well, the Cafe Coffee Days did great. Now you got Blue Tokai coming in. What is Blue Tokai's secret sauce? Like, what are these guys doing that are just why are they hyperscaling or how are they hyperscaling so fast?
See, one is, of course, they got the funding. That's the biggest thing. Second thing is they've kept the product very simple and easy. It's not too tedious. It's simple coffee served in a way which you like it. So that is what it is. I'll give you another example. What you just said earlier. In my Wimpy days, I don't know if you remember, we used to have a darban in front of our store, and when you were passing by, he would open the door for you. So a lot of people used to get scared. They thought that the place was expensive. And that is the first thing I removed from there. Because that gives an experience कि यहाँ burger 400-500 रुपए का होगा. Whereas we were selling burger at 100-120 bucks. We removed that and our sales went up. So that kind of thing is very, very important. I mean, it's a retail strategy. We got to think step by step how to scale it up. You just can't just go and do dash and get going. It's not possible. You have to look at it step by step to go. And the only reason, as you said about Blue Tokai or Third Wave, is they've simplified things. They serve it the way you like it. It's very comfortable interiors inside. And pricing is decent too.
Yeah. I think they've kept it on large below
Yeah.
Starbucks. And again, surveys come out of nowhere and
Yeah.
it's scaled up, hyperscaled really fast. Do you still think there's space for more players to come into this area or now it's getting a bit crowded?
It is getting a crowded space. But you never know what's your story.
Yeah.
It's all about story, as you said.
Oh,
So you got to build your story around it.
great. Interestingly, I was talking to a friend from New York. I spent a lot of time visiting when I'm in New York, in the Queens area. And in Queens now, there was a time where there was hardly any Indian restaurants.
I'm sure you love this particular clip. If you want to watch the full episode, click on the link below and watch the whole episode.